And that's the thing. I said in the past for the last 20 years that I probably caught ECW on TV 3 times. To be honest with you, and when I watched it, I liked what I saw. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I liked the product and I watched it, but I would definitely say, I mean, WCW and NWO and what they were doing at that time, that was much more a greater influence on me than ECW, because the thing that appealed me to ECW, to be honest with you, was it wasn't characters and it wasn't creative and it wasn't storylines. It was these guys are killing themselves in the ring. And like that was the one thing, like with Paul Lee, that like I really admired more than anything and still do, was how did he get those guys to work to that level for him when they could have killed themselves in the ring? I mean, I never saw anything like that. So, there really wasn't an ECW influence, because, like, I didn't want guys to go out there and kill themselves in the ring. I mean, not at all. Like I said, the NWO, that was the one with the more cutting edge, and this is what wrestling should be in the 90s, that type of thing, not ECW. So, like, whereas, I did watch it a handful of times, and I liked the product for the reasons that I just told you, but that never influenced me one way or another going forward with the Attitude Era. I can remember sitting with Vince when the ratings used to come in, and Vince would look at the rating, and I mean, he would turn to me and he would say, "Man, we worked damn hard for those 3s," and he would just put the rating aside and we would go on business as usual. And I remember it was 3s for a very long time, but we never changed course. Because we knew we were onto something. And then, 3s became 3 3s and 3 5s and 3 9s and 4s and 5s. And, much of that credit is to Vince, because anybody else would have jumped ship. Anybody else, if they didn't see instant results, would have went back to what they were doing. But, I think in his mind, Vince really knew that this formula was going to work, and obviously he was smart enough to know it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, and by staying the course, I mean, that's what really made it successful. I feel like very rarely did I ever really have to sell something hard. I think Vince I think it was at a point that time where, like, he had to be asking himself, like, what do I have to lose? I mean, like you just said, I think the rating was a 1.9, on that show. And I mean, and it really was, what do I have to lose? Other than, to sit here and listen to this guy from New York, and, can it really be any worse than what we're doing now? So, like, he was never at all. I mean, it was totally, this is the way we're going. I mean, we were, balls to the wall. This week's show is going to be better than last week's show, and I mean, there was nothing hindering us whatsoever.